What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying your Monday. Please keep Mariah Carey and her extended family in prayer. Unfortunately, she has lost both her mother and her sister Alison this past weekend, and they both passed away on the same day. She says, "My heart is broken." She says, Mariah Carey says, quote, "I appreciate everyone's love and support and respect for my privacy during this impossible time." Mariah Carey's mom, Patricia, and her sister Alison both passed away on the same day over this weekend. Wow. She says, "My heart is broken that I've lost my mother this past weekend. Sadly, in a tragic turn of events, my sister lost her life on the exact same day." The Grammy winning singer, 55, said an exclusive statement to People. She says, "I feel blessed that I was able to spend this last week with my mom before she passed. And she says, I appreciate everyone's love and support and respect for my privacy during this impossible time." No other details, including Patricia and Allison's causes of death, are known at this time. Patricia, who was previously married to Alfred Roy Carey, she was a Juilliard trained opera singer and a vocal coach before the couple welcomed Allison, Mariah, and their son Morgan. Their parents later divorced when the hero singer was only 3 years old. Mariah's relationship with her mother, from whom her vocal talents were inherited, was complicated throughout her life. She says, "Like many aspects of my life, my journey with my mother has been full of contradictions and compelling realities. It's never been only black and white. It's been a whole rainbow of emotions," she wrote in her 2020 memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey. She says, quote, "Our relationship is a prickly rope of pride, pain, shame, gratitude, jealousy, admiration, and disappointment," continued Mariah in the book. "A complicated love tethers my heart to my mother's." Despite their ups and downs, Mariah maintained a relationship with her mother. In 2010, they came together for ABC's Mariah Carey's Merry Christmas to You special and performed a festive mother-daughter duet of "O Come All Ye Faithful," the Hallelujah chorus. Mariah also dedicated her memoir in part to Patricia. She says, quote, "And to Pat, my mother, who through it all, I do believe actually did the best she could," she wrote, "I will always love you the best I can, always." Mariah's relationship with Allison was also quite complex. The star wrote in the memoir that it was, at least at the time, quote, "emotionally and physically safer for me to not have any contact with her or Morgan." So I'll put this People article in the description if you guys want to read it for yourself. My heart goes out to Mariah. It is really unfortunate, right, when you have family members who you've had a complicated past with and they pass away. And, you know, I remember, when Tupac was writing in his songs about, they said, he was heartless, but all along he was looking for a father and he was gone, right? He put that in Dear Mama. And so I know Mariah, her heart is broken because she won't ever have a chance to, grow closer to her mother and her sister. But she did. She said that, "I do believe actually you did the best that you could." And she says, "And I will always love you the best that I can, always." And I love that line, right? One thing I can say about Mariah Carey, of course, they said that she inherited her amazing voice from her mother, who's an opera singer, but also this woman is her penmanship, right? Her pen, her storytelling, her songwriting abilities. She is a lyricist through and through. And I definitely need to put her book on my list to read. I've heard bits and pieces a little bit about the trauma that she went through as a child. I do know that her siblings were very unkind to her. And I'm realizing the older that I get that so many people, um, are dealing with unresolved childhood trauma. And I feel like the best thing that you can do sometimes, right, to protect yourself, like Mariah said, is to put up that boundary. Because unfortunately for Mariah, and like I said, I just heard bits and pieces, but her siblings and her mother, um, they really put her through the ringer. And I don't know if it had to do with her being half black. I don't know if it had to do with her being as talented, as she was. Because she got signed when she was, I believe it was 19, when she came out with Hero was her first song, if I remember. I was little, but I just remember, she had a very angelic voice, and she still does, right? But one thing, she's never shied away from her identifying as a Black woman. And she also recognized the fact that because she was half white, her being a mixed woman, aesthetically, she was able to transcend a lot of racial boundaries. And she's recognized that. She's talked about that as well. So that's a very complicated, nuanced place to be, right? Navigating the world. And it's unfortunate that she felt like she didn't have the support of her mother, but at the same time, like she said, she spent the last week with her mom. She dedicated part of her memoir to her mother. She did credit her mother to a lot of her vocal, not only natural ability, but because her mom was a vocal coach, teaching her throughout her life. Similarly to, Whitney Houston, right? I mean, Cissy Houston was a singer in her own right, but not only that, she was coaching her daughter throughout her life. The Clark sisters, the Jacksons, I could go on and on. But looking looking back on all of those singers, now that I'm naming them off, all of them had complicated relationships with their parents, right? Um, there's just a lot of trauma that people deal with trying to navigate, this world. Life is hard. Um, and, like she said, sometimes the best thing that you can do, both physically and emotionally, is to draw that boundary. But my heart goes out to her because I can't imagine losing, her mother and her sister in the exact same day. Despite whatever their issues were, that's still your blood, right? At the end of the day. Um, and she did say, that her heart is broken, and she definitely um, misses her mother. So yeah. And I wonder, if we haven't heard anything about her brother. I know she said that she had to draw that boundary with him as well, Morgan. So Alison and Morgan. And if you guys remember, Alison reminds me a lot of Samantha Markle, Meghan Markle's sister, who would, go to whatever media, that she could to disparage her sister. And it's like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Um, no matter what, and this is just my own personal opinion and my thoughts, but no matter what you go through, um, your family is your blood, and no one's perfect. But I do feel like there was a lot of jealousy. Mariah, I mean, she's a huge international star. She's one of the best-selling singers in history of all time. And I mean, just her Christmas album alone, dominates the charts every year. And she tours, I believe, every Christmas season. So she's not only, extremely talented, but she's also very hardworking. And, she's always done things on her own terms, right? Even, marrying Nick Cannon when he was, younger than her, and just even her last relationship, I remember, I think she sued him for wasting her time, essentially, and she won. And she won. Like, Mariah is just, she's that girl, she's not the one to be played with, because Her first marriage was to Tommy Mottola, who was the head of Sony. He was so controlling. I remember that. And when she broke free from him, that's when she wrote the song Honey. If you guys remember, she was like kind of that female James Bond type. But she's survived a lot. She's gone through a lot. She came out on top. And, when people try to essentially break your spirit and you rise above it, then they do, you know, typically get upset. And all you can do is just pray for them, establish that firm boundary, and love them from afar. And that's what she did. So I wish her and her family healing, and her, she can be, I'm sure, a much, I don't even want to say better mother, but a much more nurturing, caring mother than Patricia was to her. And maybe Patricia just didn't have the tools and the resources, that she needed. Like she said, she loved her the best that she could. And in return, Mariah loved her the best as she could. So may she rest in peace. May Allison rest in peace. And I pray that Mariah's family finds healing as they go forward. So, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.